Hello, good evening, good afternoon. Hello and welcome everyone. We are so happy to have you here at 2020 Imagine Justice, our 2020 Imagine Justice supporting Columbia Legal Services. Bienvenidos todos. Esta es una fiesta completamente bilingüe y entonces vamos a decir todas las cosas en inglés y también en español. Pero no vamos a decir las mismas cosas en inglés y en español. Pero hay subtítulos en los dos idiomas para todos. Entonces, por favor, usan los subtítulos que es mejor para ti en su idioma preferido. Y tú vamos a entender todo. So, we're not going to say everything in this party in 2 languages, but we do have subtitles in both English and in Spanish. And so, please pick the subtitles that will help you the most to understand our entire party together. And you can see that we just put them in the chat, and so many people are here in the chat. We're so happy to have you. We just want to say again, thank you so much for coming to Columbia Legal Services annual Imagine Justice gathering. Bienvenidos and welcome. And we are here this evening to celebrate the incredible work that Columbia Legal Services is doing to stand with and take direction from our marginalized communities. Because right now at Columbia Legal Services, we are using our expertise to strategically support undocumented workers and people living in jails and prisons. And we are conducting this work as much as we are possible, always with a view towards the lens of race equity, which is so resurgently important that we're recognizing right now. So this evening we invite you to imagine justice. Imagine what justice can look like when we transform, not just reform, systems of oppression. Because together we want to imagine how we can build a more just, equitable future all together. So it is now my great pleasure to get to introduce my co-host this evening. And many of you most likely recognize her because she's super famous. She is also the Assistant Deputy Director of Advocacy with Columbia Legal Services. Would you please give a huge virtual welcome to the one and only Diana Garcia. Diana, gracias por mucho gusto. Mucho gusto no. Bienvenidos, sí. Muy bienvenidas. Hola.
Muchas gracias, Ian, por esa presentación. Y de parte de Servicios Legales Colombia y mía, bienvenidos a Imagina la Justicia. Este es un evento completamente bilingüe. Tome el enlace de nuestro chat para obtener los subtítulos en su idioma preferido. Un poco sobre mí, yo estoy basada en Kennewick, una de nuestras 5 oficinas donde Servicios Legales Colombia presta servicios a comunidades en todo el estado. Las otras 4 oficinas están localizadas en Olympia, Seattle, Wenatchee y Yakima. En estos tiempos, oficina no significa mucho, ya que yo estoy trabajando, como pueden ver, desde la sala de mi casa, así como muchos de ustedes. Estamos encantados de que se hayan unido a nosotros en línea y de que podamos hacer un evento virtual que sea más equitativo. La registración fue gratis, todo lo que necesita es Wi-Fi y un navegador. Nuestro evento está disponible en inglés y en español. Ustedes no necesitan encontrar estacionamiento. Ya sabemos que eso siempre es muy difícil en Seattle. Y puede usar la ropa en la que se sientan más cómodos y ni siquiera tienen que usar zapatos. Lo mejor, ¿verdad? Esto significa que más que nunca nuestra comunidad de clientes se ha unido a nosotros. Ya sea que nos ha dado apoyo desde hace mucho tiempo o que acaba de enterarse de que nuestro programa existe, personal anterior o futuro, co-consejadores, aliados, clientes, campeones legislativos, amigos, familiares, mascotas, o se unió a nosotros porque un amigo lo invitó. Todos bienvenidos y muchas gracias por estar con nosotros.
Sí, todos bienvenidos muchos. Y Diana, quería decir que hay personas, muchísimas personas que darte amor en el chat. Like Travis says, yay, Diana, y Trish says like cuatro corazones y Diana y like fiesta, kinds of like, I don't like confetti. So people are very, very excited to have you here. And I just want to say that this is maybe the kind of party that you have not been to recently. Or maybe you've come to lots of virtual parties, but we wanted to give you just a little bit of, party guidance for like ways to enjoy this party the most. So, and Kia, gracias también. It's so nice to see you. So to enjoy this party, it is, as Diana just said, you do need Wi-Fi and a computer, and we're hoping that you're watching on like maybe a desktop or a laptop, or maybe you've got one of those big smart screens and you can watch. Murph is dancing. Me gusta mucho. Es el tiempo para bailar. It's time to dance. But also, we want to be sure to invite you to register in our fundraising software, because our fundraising software is how you can support Columbia Legal Services. And so sometimes people do that with a second device. You can have like another device, and sometimes people do it with like a second browser window. Diana,
So
yo sé. Sí, Diana, por favor, ayúdame.
Es posible que esté viendo este evento en una pantalla grande, ¿verdad? Como una computadora, una tableta. Y también es posible que estén usando otro dispositivo como un teléfono inteligente para poder donar, porque es más fácil hacerlo de esas maneras. Y por favor, regístrese, y ahorita está en el video, a nuestro enlace que pusimos ahí para que pueda contribuir a nosotros.
Sí. Y también, and excuse me, I'm going to do English. It's so much better. And also, you can see that so many people are joining us in the chat, like Hannah. She says hi at Lori, and Fanny says hey Lori, and Sarah says hi Fanny, and Fanny says Chili, and like I can see a lot of people are like saying hi Sarah, and Fanny's now, everybody's just saying hi because the party is starting. It's really great. Hola, and oh hi Madeline, hi, it's nice to see you. Please come and join us in our chat. We would love to have you all come join us, because there's going to be a lot of fun things happening in the chat, and it's so easy to join us. You just need to create a free YouTube account. And YouTube calls their accounts channels. So you have to create a free YouTube channel, but don't worry, you won't be on TV. Just Diana and I will be on TV, and we would really love for you to come join us.
Y como pueden ver, ahorita se están comunicando varias personas basado en el chat, y usted también se puede unir a esta conversación, y eso lo puede hacer creando una cuenta de YouTube llamado canal. Es muy fácil, no van a salir ustedes en la pantalla, nomás nosotros, pero puede así unirse a la conversación como todos los demás compañeros que nos están aquí acompañando.
Sí. Elvia, hola, and Diana, me gusta porque toda la gente está hablando con todos, pero con nosotros más o menos no.
Nos están ignorando, ¿eh?
Yeah, I love it. One other thing, just in case. So this is a party, and so, maybe it gets really crazy, and you need a little bit of party assistance. Totally fine. You can reach out to us and we will help you. Sarah, hi to Olympia. We're so glad to see you. Just email us, ij-help@columbialegal.org. And you can see it right here, and we're going to drop it into the chat for all of you. And if at any point you need assistance with YouTube, or if you need assistance with the fundraising software, please just send us a quick email.
Y si necesita ayuda durante esta noche, comuníquese con nuestro equipo de ayuda al correo electrónico ej-help@columbialegal.org, y también este correo electrónico está en el chat si necesitan más ayuda.
Thank you. Okay, so now everybody is hopefully comfortable and welcome. And I just want to point out that we have 130 screens all gathered together, which we assume is maybe 300 people because multiple people are there. And I see that, Seattle U Law is in the house. Go Redhawks. I'm a former Redhawk, not law school. Sorry, I didn't make it that far. But we're so glad to have you. Also, if you haven't yet come, and so many of you have, we really do want you to come and join us in the chat because we are going to have some games and surprises and prizes. So come join us because we're about to start giving some things away and playing some fun games because, hey, this is a party, so we play games. Yes, Travis, exactly. Go Redhawks, Travis, I agree. And yes, Tony, games. We're going to play games. So before we move on, there is a group of people that we have to thank for their incredible support. And so we want to, and if you could put your virtual hands together, if you could give a clap in the chat, or if you want to use the clapping emoji, we want to thank our leaders and our friends and our associates and our incredible advocates, sponsors, to all of these amazing people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you can see people, yes, Sarah, clap, exactly. That's one loud clap is all we need because we're so, so grateful. And thank you, Murph, Melanie, thank you to Lori. And I just want to say, Surviving the Prison Wife Life. Oh, thank you so much for being here. And sponsors and friends and advocates, I just want to point out that so many people are giving huge love and affirmation in the chat. So thank you. Now it is let's see. It is also where is the staff? We want to hear from the staff of Columbia Legal Services. So if you're here, staff members, would you just write the word staff in the chat so that we can see you and we can give you all a huge round of applause? Any staff member, I want you to write the word staff in the chat right now. And here we are. Here are our incredible staff members. There's Murph. And also, we want to thank our incredible board of directors. Please, if you know, yes, staff, we love you. And if you're a member of the board of directors, if you are a member of the board of directors, would you please write board of directors? And if you know a member of the board of directors, would you please put any of your favorite board of directors people into the chat and tell us how much you care about them? We want to thank you all, these amazing staff people. And now, yes, staff and clapping. And now our board. Hey, Matthew, thank you so much. Thank you. And Annabelle, thank you. And Alice, hi from Boston. Welcome and thank you. And Racial Justice, Lamont, thank you, board of directors members. Yay. And we're just so grateful to have you all here. And what an amazing group. What an amazing community. Thank you for being here as part of this community. I now have the great pleasure of introducing another person who I think will be well known to this incredible group of people. The fearless leader who guides Columbia Legal Services. More than 25 years ago, this person was a client in a welfare to work program at a local legal aid office. And now, for the last 10 years, she has been a staff attorney at CLS. And for the last 3 years, our amazing executive director. Even with all of those accomplishments, she recently told me that the two most difficult things she has done recently were, one, helping her mother and the entire retirement community to get on to Zoom correctly, and also relearning 3rd and 4th grade math because she now has to teach it at home like so many people. So would you please welcome the immensely accomplished and amazing Murph Eamon. Murph, welcome. How are you?
Thanks, Ian and Diana. It's so great to be here. Welcome, everyone. Wonderful to see you. I wish that we could be in person. But as you all know, we are in the middle of a pandemic and several pandemics. A pandemic of illness, of COVID-19, a pandemic of racism that has always existed, but many of us are just coming to understand the depth of that racism. We are also looking at a pandemic of poverty, which has always been around, but has been intensified because of the structures of our society. At CLS, we have been trying to pivot our work for the last 3 years to address these kinds of issues: racism, poverty, and how to be community-led. We want to be led by community so that communities have support to unleash their collective power. We think that that's the only way that true and lasting change can be made. Many of us have despaired during the pandemic. We've been concerned about our families, our health, our safety, and yet we have roofs over our head, we have enough to eat, and still we are concerned, we're worried. It's not the same. And in the fields, on the streets, in the prisons, folks are rising up together as community. And sometimes as those folks are rising up, they want a lawyer. And they want a lawyer to go into court to help them assert their rights, because sometimes the systems are Byzantine. And sometimes those very same systems are complicit in the racism and the poverty that they are trying to stop. I want all of us to stand together today with the communities, the farm workers walking off the jobs and risking their lives and their livelihoods, the prisoners who are standing up and face retaliation, who cannot get their healthcare needs met, with all of the folks who want their voices heard, who are trying to make their communities safer, safer from police brutality, safer from racism, and moving forward. So please, join us. This is only work that we can all do together, because really we are one community. As Brian Stevenson has said, the true measure of our character is how we treat the poor, the disfavored, the accused, the incarcerated, and the condemned. Thank you. And I'll pass it back now to Ian and Diana. Thank you.
Murph, thank you so much. Thank you for your words and for your leadership. We're so grateful. And I can see that there are so many people here. Murph, I just want you to know, people are giving you a lot of love. And I know Murph is with us right here. There she is. Oops. No, you were perfect, Murph. No, that was great. Thank you so much. And people are saying how much they appreciate you. And I also just want to point out that our community is growing right now. We now have almost 150 screens altogether, which I feel confident is in the area of 300 plus of us all gathered together to imagine justice better altogether. So thank you for being here. And if you haven't yet, I just want to remind you, come join us in the chat like so many people, like Alfredo, gracias, and hola, and B1051. I don't know who you are, but welcome. We are so glad you're here. And we also, so please come join us. And Diana, would you mind telling us the next exciting person who is here to speak to us?
Of course, that person is Janet. So Janet Chung, CLS Advocacy Director, is the daughter of Korean immigrants who grew up in Texas and has always been a strong believer in civic engagement. She believes it is a privilege and an obligation to participate and recognizes that the communities we serve are purposely excluded. She reminds us to vote and vote early, especially this election. For many in Washington, your ballot will be mailed this week. Hello, Janet.
Thank you, Deanna. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm so lucky to work with an amazing group of advocates who are the ones who take the mission and vision of Columbia Legal Services and make them into something real. Speaking of advocates, I want to take a moment to acknowledge an attorney who began her legal career at CLS, who was killed recently in a tragic accident, Sarah Lehrer. Sarah advocated for those furthest from power, farm workers, immigrants, and people excluded by language barriers. What a brilliant meteor she was in our world. Rest in power, Sarah. No one could have predicted the way 2020 has unfolded. Who knew 6 months ago that staring at each other on screens would be our new normal? That the personal interaction that's so important to relationship building would be potentially dangerous? That the murders of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and too many others would ignite new movements toward racial justice? And amidst all this, the good news for CLS is this. We've been training for this moment. We are ready. We'd already refocused our advocacy on dismantling and transforming two of the key racialized systems that perpetuate poverty and injustice, mass incarceration, and the immigration system. We recognize that as a legal organization, we're not always the experts in the problems or in the solutions. We had already begun a pivot so that our work is directed by the communities that we serve. And those communities were clear about the needs. Help us to stay safe. Help us protect our own health and our families' health. Help us make sure we and our families can have our basic needs met, ensure our jobs, our housing, our economic security. And our staff swung into action. Teams worked day and night to answer hundreds of calls from people incarcerated at the Department of Corrections facilities and their families who were asking, what about us? Do you remember that time? Everyone was scrambling to figure out how to engage in social distancing and get proper protective equipment. It was scary. It still is scary for many of us. But imagine if you have no say or control over your conditions. You have to place trust in people and institutions that have given you no reason to trust them. And there were emergency stay safe orders for everyone, but no plan to protect people in prisons. When asked why, Governor Inslee said, I have 7 million other people who I care about, and I've been working 24/7 for them. So we sued the governor and pled our case directly to the highest court in the state in a history-making first oral argument via Zoom. Ultimately, the court did not rule in our favor on the merits of whether the conditions were unlawful, but I am 100% sure that without our lawsuit, DOC would not have taken the steps that they did. We heard similar concerns from people working in the agricultural industry. Their work was deemed essential, but they were left unprotected and treated as disposable. Their employers control their housing, yet often fail to provide appropriate ventilation or the ability to socially distance. And we listened to our community partners, including Familias Unidas, who raised the alarms. And we sued the state on their behalf to issue enforceable regulations to protect farm workers in their housing. And when agricultural workers in packing sheds in central and eastern Washington were told to come to work, but again, not given appropriate protective gear, they took to the streets. And again, we followed their lead. You'll hear more shortly from one of those workers, Maribel Medina, about how CLS advocates supported the workers in efforts to be recognized by their employer as a union so that they could advocate for themselves. As you can hear, we've been busy. But wait, that's not all. CLS is also working on equitable vaccine distribution, eviction moratoria, immigrant unemployment compensation, and shifting resources from policing to investing in communities of color. Someday, we're going to look back at this time and ask, did we do everything that we could? As for CLS, we're working to meet not just the immediate needs of our communities, but to push for transformational and sustainable change. We aren't willing to go back to business as usual. And I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm hopeful that out of this time of intense pain for so many, that we'll see that new growth that comes after a forest burn, different, transformed, and healthier communities. And we are so grateful to all of you for joining and supporting us in this work. Thank you. Back to you, Deanna and Ian.
Thank you, Janet, for telling us about all of this important work that's happening. We're so excited at the success that Columbia Legal Services has been having. And Murph, I see you saying shift power and people in prison being heard in the state Supreme Court, which is truly amazing. And through those people's advocacy and the assistance of CLS, that is making that possible. So thank you, Janet. People are saying a lot of really lovely things about you and sending you love and claps and all kinds of things. I want to remind everyone that this is a party, but it is also an opportunity to support this oh so important work. And so I know that many of you are finding right now the opportunity to contribute. And we do have a very big goal this evening to raise funds so that CLS can keep advocating for all of the people that we are advocating for. And you can see we're so excited. We are trying to reach $75,000. And Leah, thank you so much. We are at almost $9,000 already on our way. We are so grateful for all of you who have made contributions. Oh, Lamont, thank you. We're so grateful. The people that CLS is advocating for are farm workers, undocumented immigrants, and people who are living in Washington's jails and prisons. People who know what they need and are reaching out to us to assist them. And we are so honored to collaborate with those people. So if you are part of that collaboration, your generosity is part of that collaboration with people in seeking justice. So we are so, so grateful. And we invite you to keep doing that because we're going to keep checking on that throughout our evening. I also just want to remind you all, and I know so many of you are well aware, but these people that we are advocating and standing with, do not receive any grants or government support for their work, which is why one of the reasons why your generosity is so, so important. Undocumented immigrants do not receive government support. So please, please continue to be so generous as you are. And oh my gosh, I can see that amazing, amazing things are happening. Oh my gosh, Amanda, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, we are so, so grateful. Oh, Diana, I need to, hi. I got really excited because we're like, people are being really, really generous. I'll just tell you. But Diana, would you be able to tell us about the next part of our evening? Thank you.
Sí, pues tengo muy buenas noticias. Ahora podemos agregar nuestro apoyo de patrocinio de $40,450. Y otra vez, muchas gracias a todos los que han donado y también les doy las gracias a los que están, ya sé que hay muchos que están pensando en donar, entonces muchas gracias a ustedes. Y también podemos agregar nuestras donaciones previas al evento de $2,850.
Sí. So we want to spread the word about our gathering right now. And, you know, there are so many of us who are together. And I mean, Diana, can you see? We're up to like almost 160 screens.
I know, estoy muy emocionada.
I know. I'm excited too. But if you know people right now who want to come join us, please reach out on social media. We know that you all are got like 3 or 4 screens going at once, and we're totally okay with that. Reach out and tell people to come join us right now if they can on Facebook or Twitter or wherever it is that you connect with people, and you can see right here, and you can use that hashtag #ImagineJustice. Please. Spread the news because we could use everyone's assistance in helping us out. And our chat cheerleaders are going to put this in right now into the chat. So, gracias.
Y queremos muchas fotos, así es que por favor, tómense fotos. Queremos ver cómo se miran, qué se pusieron para nuestro evento de Imagina la Justicia.
Yes. So we have another special guest who is about to join us. And for all of us who speak English much more strongly than Spanish, this next guest is going to speak in Spanish. And so I just want to remind you about the opportunity to use the subtitles in Spanish. And of course, we have them again in both languages. If you've just joined us, we have subtitles in both English and Spanish. Whichever is most helpful for you, please use them, and we just dropped them into the chat right here. So Diana, would you be willing to introduce our next guest?
Claro que sí. Les quiero presentar una persona muy especial, a Maribel Medina, una madre de 4 hijos que vive en Yakima y pisca y empaca los productos frescos que compramos y compartimos con nuestras familias.
Gracias, Diana. Sí, mi nombre es Maribel Medina. Soy tesorera del Sindicato Independiente Trabajadores Unidos por la Justicia. Trabajo en una empacadora de manzana en el Valle de Yakima. Al principio de marzo, abril, estuvimos teniendo los primeros casos de trabajadores enfermos del COVID. La compañía no estaba respetando el distanciamiento social. Estábamos pidiendo mayor protección para mascarillas, gel desinfectante, cosas así, y la empresa simplemente decían que no era importante o no era prioritario. Para ellos su prioridad era seguir sacando su producción y seguir trabajando más, porque de hecho en esos tiempos había más trabajo que meses pasados. Tuvimos enfermos, muchos enfermos, 1, 2, hasta 3 por semana, y la gente seguía trabajando igual, no ponían protección, no no implementaban el distanciamiento, solamente en las áreas comunes como el comedor, sí querían que no hiciera uno, que no estuviera uno tan junto, pero en el área de trabajo no lo implementaban. Tuvimos una pérdida, un compañero, el señor David Cruz, murió por el COVID y él enfermó en el trabajo. La compañía no hizo mención alguna, ni siquiera dio las condolencias a la familia. En el tiempo que salimos a huelga, fue el 7 de mayo, decidimos salir a huelga porque creímos que necesitábamos más protección. Pedíamos protección a nuestra salud y pedíamos también un aumento en el pago por trabajadores esenciales. Estuvimos 23 días en huelga y no logramos todo lo que queríamos en ese tiempo, entonces decidimos que era tiempo de formar nuestro propio sindicato independiente y es lo que estamos haciendo. Y la oficina de Columbia Legal Services ha sido muy buena con nosotros, nos han ayudado bastante, estamos bastante agradecidos con ellos, con la abogada Kathy Bernat y con Familias Unidas por la Justicia, al igual que con toda la comunidad que hasta el día de hoy nos han apoyado desde el primer día, con una cosa, con otra, han estado ahí con nosotros. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias, Maribel. Muchas gracias por todas sus palabras. And it is time to play a game because it's game time, because it's a party. And so we have games. So in just a moment, we're going to play a little game right here in our chat. And the prize, I want to tell you about the prize. I want to tell you about Cafe Ladro's Village of Hope blend. It is an incredible, they're not just coffee beans, although they are delicious Cafe Ladro coffee beans, but they are a special blend created to raise awareness about support for the incredible Village of Hope program. And you may remember that in 2018, the village leader, Mary Flowers, was our Visionary of the Year recipient, awardee. So we're going to give away some delicious Village of Hope blend, and here is how you win. In just a moment, we are going to show you an emoji. And the fifth person to put that emoji into the chat will win the beans, the delicious yes. Hi, and Murph says yes. Mary Flowers, yes. And Annabelle says cafe. And I love Village of Hope, says Trissa. Yes, exactly. So here we go. If you would like to be the winner, just be the fifth person to put this emoji into our chat. If you can find it. And the emojis are right there underneath where you type something. Okay, who will it be? Put that emoji if you can find it. Who will be the fifth person to find? There's the emoji we're showing you. And Annabelle says, let's do this. Yes, are you ready? Kelsey, you're number 1, good job. And Julia, you're number 2. Twyla, you're number 3, good job, but we need 5. Carrie, you're number 4. Olivia Zimmerman, muy bien, you are number 5. El ganador. Whoa, everyone. And we just want you to know, we are so loving that you are all raising your hand in solidarity with us as well as you play this game. Olivia, good job. Well done. That's it. That's how you play the game. It's so easy. We're going to play this game some more, so don't go away. Thank you all. Diana, would you mind telling us about the next part of our event?
Claro que sí. Servicios Legales Colombia utiliza los medios de comunicación para revelar la agencia que tiene nuestra comunidad de clientes cuando desafía a los empleadores o agencias del gobierno, para influir en la discusión pública de una manera positiva y para informar y alentar a otros a reclamar sus derechos y hacer que el gobierno rinda cuentas.
Yes, exactly. And just this year, our advocates and our clients have appeared in hundreds of news stories in such prestigious outlets like the New York Times Sunday Magazine and National Public Radio and Bloomberg Government and the Seattle Times and KUOW and Crosscut and more. And, you know, our stories matter. And we are so, so grateful because it is with your support that we are able to do this work that is receiving this recognition nationally and locally. So now I have the great pleasure of welcoming another amazing member of the CLS team. He is an organizer within the broader community. He is currently not only working diligently here at CLS, but also is a law student at Seattle University. And I do want to say again, go Redhawks, thank you. Would you please welcome the Director of Equity and Community Engagement here at Columbia Legal Services, the one and only Travis Andrews. Travis, welcome. How are you?
Thank you, Ian. Thank you so much. And welcome everybody to our first digital Imagine Justice event. What an amazing event so far. I'm glad to have everybody here. So the first question our community partners tend to ask us is, who asked you to do this work? No one asked us to be here. We are each uniquely positioned as a member of our community, sharing a foundational connection of agreement. Woven into the fabric of our story, our stories are generation impacting inequities, flagrant injustices, and unsolicited social distancing from democracy. For too long, communities have been penetrated with an abundance of audacious, well-intended, but uninformed organizations aiming to remedy realities that they have been divorced from. At Columbia Legal Services, we agree that the lived and future experiences of every community member is valued and an integral part of our engagement and our advocacy. I personally align my values and carry out my work in respect to this agreement. When I show up every day, I do so as a member of the communities that we serve. With the belief that there is no CLS without community, we are activated to continue to leverage our collective power and resources to support our community to become champions of change and sustainability. The systems have been designed to impact the community, not include them. While we have not always operated in this way, we seek to do things differently at CLS. You see, we have learned that our power and access are tools for community, and our work is done in collaboration with community. As an organization, we have learned that our expertise is within the system, while our partners are experts on the unique experiences that they go through. The distances that we have reached to ending mass incarceration and the efforts to end inequitable practices towards our undocumented communities are much greater, with our community leading the way as we support their efforts. It is our responsibility to adhere to the commitment to challenge and disrupt systems that do not serve our community, our people, or our future. I am proud to be a part of this community here in Washington State and in association with an organization that is willing to humble itself to support the path that the community lays. Ladies and gentlemen, I just thank you again for being here today. We ask you all to continue to support us as an organization as we move forward in support of our communities. Thank you all, and have a good evening.
And thank you, Travis, so much for your words. I want to echo what Karen Jones said in the chat, where she just said that thank you for reminding us what community is all about. And we are so, so grateful. And many people are just, I want you to know, Travis, are saying how appreciative they are for your words and your leadership and your work and all that you do for Columbia Legal Services. And it is this community, I just want to say, this incredible group of us all gathered together right now, this 150 screens and who knows, 300 of us all gathered. This is part of that community that Travis is talking about. That community that in solidarity can make powerful change, can bring greater justice, greater equity to our state, to our nation that is so desperately needed right now. And to be totally honest, it requires resources to do that. Even though Columbia Legal Services knows how to take those resources and stretch them, we could use your generosity, and so many of you are being so generous right now. And I want to invite you right now, if you can, to come and raise our gavel. Just raise the gavel and, you know, put it down for justice, right? Can we say it that way, Diana? Is that like, does that make sense? Like,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
so,
I love it.
good. Okay. I just want to point out that you can make a contribution in any one of these levels at $1,000 or at $500 or $250. And we want to thank Sarah. Thank you so much for your generosity. Or at $100 or $50 or $10 or any amount that would be so, so helpful. And to give you some context, if you could help us with $1,000, and Abigail, thank you so much for your generosity. $1,000 would fund an expert witness to testify on behalf of one of our clients. Or $500 would fund the translation of legal benefits materials into a language that makes them more accessible for our community farm worker advocacy team. And I can tell you right now, as someone who is trying to operate in a language that is not the one I am most comfortable in, that those translation services are so, so valuable, because just having the information is a big part of the key to the success. So, and I just want to point out that so many people, Melinda, thank you so much for your generosity. And before I ask Diana if you can talk to us as well, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but I get really excited that we have another amazing opportunity right here. So we have a generous donor who is offering us a challenge match right here at $100 or $250. So if we have a person who would be willing to match 20 gifts of $250, that would be $5,000. If we can get 20 gifts of $250, and then we would get $5,000 from you and $5,000 from our donor, and that would be another $10,000. And also, we have a person who would be willing to match 50 gifts of $100, which would be another $5,000. If we could get all of those matches, and Leah Mancuso, thank you so much, then we would be very close to our goal of $75,000, which we would really, really love. Oh, Donna, thank you so much for your incredible generosity. Okay, Diana, I know you have things that you want to tell us. You're like, Ian, stop, por favor.
Now we're so close, so close. Estamos tan cerquitas de llegar a nuestra meta, ¿verdad? Y como dice Ian, ¿verdad? Su donación va a ayudar a Columbia Legal Services a avanzar en la defensa de los trabajadores agrícolas y en la defensa de las personas afectadas por estar encarcelados. No importa la cantidad, si es $10, si es $20, toda la ayuda nos ayuda a seguir con el trabajo tan importante que estamos haciendo. También este trabajo está conectado a través del lente de equidad racial. So, por favor, considere dar cualquier cantidad que para usted sea significativa. Lo poco y lo mucho puede dar ayuda a nuestro trabajo y podemos seguir. Por favor, donen si pueden.
Sí, exactamente. ¿Cómo puede? Por favor, hágalo. And Maureen, thank you so much. We're so, so grateful. And Lika, thank you. Or Lika, forgive me, but thank you for your incredible generosity. And Gregory, thank you so much for your generosity. And Julia, thank you. Or Julia, thank you. We're so, so grateful. Oh my gosh, we're almost at $58,000. Yasmin, thank you. We're so, so grateful. Every amount is so, so much appreciated. And Carrie, thank you so much. Levante el mazo, raise the gavel. This is your moment to bring justice down, because we need it. And Murph, I just want to say thank you, Murph, because right now, Diana, Murph is helping us a lot. She is in the chat, like, calling everybody out. Murph, we're so, so grateful. Thank you.
Ya sé, está siendo todo muy interesante, era toda la conversación que están teniendo, y como digo, si quieren unirse al chat, por favor, hagan su cuenta y únase con nosotros.
Yes, and I have great news, Diana. We just received 20 gifts of $250, which means we received the entire match. I know. Exactly. Muchísimas gracias. Los 20 personas quien nos dan, no puedo decirlo. Diana, how do I say who gave us?
Que nos dieron, que donaron.
Yes, who helped us. Y nos apoyando. Oh my gosh, my Spanish.
Que nos siguen apoyando.
Sí, gracias. Thank you, thank you. You're so amazing. Okay, and our event is not, I mean, there's more. So don't go away, because I know right now we're so excited because you're being so generous. But Diana, could you tell us just a little bit more about the award that we are about to give this evening? And then we can look at this one more time in a minute.
I know. Estoy muy emocionada con esto, con las donaciones. So, este es el momento más favorito de este evento mío. So, cada año, Servicios Legales Colombia honra a un visionario del año en nuestro evento anual de Imagina la Justicia. Un aliado en la lucha que tiene una visión inspiradora y transformadora, un compromiso con la equidad racial y un impacto comprobado. Este año estamos encantados de honrar a COVID-19 Mutual Aid, que crea y lucha por el bienestar colectivo a través de la unión de clases, justicia por discapacidad, el antirracismo y la abolición. Para ayudarnos a honrar a estos increíbles líderes comunitarios, ayúdenme a darle la bienvenida a mis colegas de Servicios Legales Colombia, Alex Bergstrom, especialista de abogacía y participación comunitaria, y Madeline Ryder, asistente de contabilidad. Madeline y Alex, les paso el micrófono.
Thank you, Diana. It is an honor to get to introduce you all here today and celebrate the work that you've been doing for the last 6 months. You all really have been the caretakers of our community since March, caring for, feeding, clothing, sheltering, transporting people in ways that our institutions are supposed to do, but frankly don't. I think we all owe you a debt of gratitude. Can't say it enough. Thank you so much. It's been a privilege to partner with you all on our work. We have a couple questions for you. We definitely want to hear from you. But first, why don't you all introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm JM, and I'm part of the Freedom All group, the Abolitionist Public Health Formation, and supporting with the Horizontal Mutual Aid in the form of fund distribution and also the Workers Organizing Caucus.
My name is Como. I'm also a part of the Freedom All Coalition, the Abolitionist Public Health Working Group, as well as South King County and Eastside Mutual Aid, which is supporting folks in the South King County and Eastside cities, and also South King County Youth Organizing.
Hi, my name is Davida. I was part of the Freedom All campaign, and I've been enjoying doing work with families and our loved ones inside.
Hi, my name is Ixley Salinas Whitehawk, and I am also with the Horizontal Mutual Aid, supporting with the fund distribution and some support with the pantry portion of it. I am also the director for the Indigenous Wellness Program with Unkitawa, which is a Native org, and just been focusing on getting traditional medicines out and working on food sovereignty as well.
Hi, my name is Rosario. I am part of the community pantries, food sovereignty, and the funding distribution.
Hi, my name is Nikita Oliver, and I've also been working with the Freedom All campaign to ensure that our loved ones inside are protected and to build a world that post-COVID, we no longer put people in cages.
Hi, my name is Cassandra. I am also working with the Freedom All Coalition in order to protect our loved ones inside and protect them still when they come home.
Hi, everyone. My name is Priya. I am also part of the South King County and Eastside Mutual Aid and Freedom All campaign.
Nico, Horizontal Mutual Aid, Survival Fund for the People and Groceries.
Awesome. Thank you again. Thank you for being here. I know the network of people who contribute to this work is huge, way more people than can be here tonight. But thank you for representing. And as representatives, we would love to hear, going forward, this work is ongoing and growing. And we'd love to hear from you about what your vision for the future of the work is.
So for a lot of us in this network, what brought us together is the belief that our collective well-being comes from BIPOC liberation, class solidarity, through like disability justice, anti-racism, and abolition. And we just reject this notion of neoliberal public health or any kind of austerity that has been the reality in this country for many decades. So we're trying to birth that future together, recognizing that there are really intense crises in our country today and in the world, both with COVID, we're facing COVID 2.0 that's happening in the fall and winter, with the political crisis, the rebellion on the streets led by BIPOC and Black youth in particular, and the inefficiency of our government, and then the upcoming economic crisis. And we're trying to figure out how to move forward in a collective way in this moment right now. So we have a more robust mutual aid that can support our collective well-being.
Also, part of that vision is how do we, as Black, Indigenous, and POC communities, how do we shift that settler system to actually give true autonomy and sovereignty to each individual, each family, and each community. There is a huge, power can be a good word or a bad word. Power is education. Power is knowing how to be able to reclaim our ways of being, how to reclaim our health, how to reclaim our freedom of mind, body, and spirit as well.
And we dream of continue to do this work in a way where we joyfully bring healing to our communities, where we, our marginalized and BIPOC communities needs are met, and where we truly do this in a horizontal way, not as a service model.
Well, thank you for sharing that vision. And I just want to say it's an absolute honor to sit here with you all and see all these amazing leaders on the screen right now. Some of you I know outside of CLS, and some of you I've admired your work for quite some time. And I'm curious, what creative possibilities do you see for collaboration between CLS, the legal aid community more generally, and the mutual aid collectives like yours?
Madeline, it's so nice to see you. When I think about the creative possibilities of working with Columbia Legal Services and other folks who care about mutual aid, I think a lot about the relationships that were happening before the pandemic. So working with Columbia Legal Services after a police killing in Seattle of a Black mother named Charlena Lyles, we got to think about how to work with Charlena's community through art. And a lot of those relationships were very much intact when the pandemic hit. And that's given me heart in a lot of different ways. So when I think of people like Ixley and Nikita and JM, and then also the other family that I've met over this last 8 months, so folks like Komi and Rosario, and other folks of COVID-19 mutual aid, and also the families we've connected to, that has been fertile and creative work. And I also think an aspect of imagining a world without prisons means not being in the unnatural state of colonization. So if you remember 2 years ago when that whale mother, Telekwa, I hope I said her name correctly, when she lost her baby, and I was thinking, you know, I haven't seen anything visually that looks like the mourning that any community that has deeply experienced colonization has gone through. But this year she had a baby, and her family of whales had a big party in the Juan de Fuca Strait. And I was like, you know, I think these are also possibilities that we can have of healing and of being together and righting things that are wrong. And when I see my Indigenous community advocating for their animal relatives who have been stolen, it's not lost on me that that looks exactly like the slave bills that were part of the system that make policing. So when I think of us creatively working together, I think of love, I think of connection. I think about the fact that we have real histories that matter to one another, and that part of our solidarity is understanding our histories. And when we understand our histories, of course, we can look at our present with clarity, and we can have the futures that we want.
I guess I would also add to that, when I'm thinking about creative possibilities, I'm thinking about amplifying voices that are intentionally silenced. In my time with Free Them All and COVID-19 Mutual Aid, and being a family member to folks incarcerated, I've seen voices amplified in ways that they've not been before, and humanized in ways that they've not been before. I see captive audiences listening because we have folks like CLS and other members of the community that are jumping on and listening to. So I think all the things Davida said, love and humanization and the creative possibilities are endless because the incredible power that has been caged and is inside is bursting out and is waiting for the world to listen to them. And this has created a space for them to be heard. So thank you.
And thank you so much, COVID-19 Mutual Aid, for taking the time to speak to us, and more for taking the time to do all the work that you have been doing and for showing us the way and guiding us and inspiring us. When we work in community and when we have community leaders like these visionaries at COVID-19 Mutual Aid, then the way is before us and we can find that way. So we are so grateful, especially during these difficult times. And I just want to point out that it is so much generosity is happening. We are at just about $65,000. And I just want to remind people that we're still looking for 13 gifts of $100 in order to take up that entire challenge. So if you could help us with $100, 13 more people, then that would be $1,300 from you and $1,300 from our donor for $2,600 more dollars, and we are within grasping distance of our big goal of $75,000. So, Suzanne, thank you. We're so grateful to so many people who are helping us, and so please, if you're able. We know that we are facing big challenges, but we know that when we build community and we are in relationship with one another, that we can get through that and we can imagine justice all together. So thank you for doing that with us. And I just want to invite you, to continue to do it and to invite others to do it as well. Reach out to anyone who isn't here with us right at this moment, and ask them if they can do it. So Diana, so many people are being so generous and so kind. I think, we should continue to have, party time. There's a little more party left, right?
Un poquito. So, un poquito de party, ya casi se termina esta fiesta, ¿da?
Bueno.
Pero no podemos terminar sin hacer otro juego, ¿verdad? So, es hora para nuestro siguiente juego de la noche. El premio es un certificado de regalo para Three Sacks Full, un delicioso y sorprendente restaurante emergente en la ciudad Colombia, en el sur de Seattle. Y nomás pensando en el restaurante me está dando hambre. So, ¿qué es el reto? Se preguntan. So, espero que hayan estado poniendo atención al principio del evento, porque ahí les va. La tercera persona en nombrar 2 ciudades donde Servicios Legales Colombia tiene oficinas gana. Arranquen.
Tercer persona. Ok, entonces vamos a ver. ¿Quién es primero? ¿Quién? No sé.
¿Nadie?
Sí, hay Murph, pero sí dice go team, ya. Wow, 1, 2, 3. Cecilia. Es el tercero. La tercera. Muy bien, Cecilia. Wow. Muy rápido.
Qué rápido si están poniendo atención.
Sí, exactamente. Ahora todos sabemos cómo jugar. Entonces es como boom.
Más rápido.
So, okay, it is almost time for us to say good evening and thank you for coming to this party. But we want to just remind you that we can continue to be in community together. And one way that you can do that is please join our mailing list so that we can continue to tell you what's going on and keep you connected. Please join with us on our mailing list, and we also want and also connect with us on social media. Okay, thank you.
So ya casi es hora de decir adiós, pero ya sé que se están preguntando qué es lo siguiente que puedo hacer con Servicios Legales Colombia. So, puede unirse a nuestra lista de correo para mantenerse actualizado en nuestro trabajo y también mantenerse conectado con nosotros en las redes sociales.
Yes. And I want to say one more very important thing. And I know, Diana, you already said it, but we need to say it in every language, in every way possible. Please vote. Please make sure that you vote and invite somebody to come with you to vote. If you are an eligible voter, please vote. And help others who are eligible voters to vote as well. We would really, we encourage that, and we're so grateful.
So, es muy importante, y lo vamos a ir repitiendo, que voten. Esta elección es muy importante, entonces necesitamos, si son elegibles para votar, por favor, vayan y voten. Como les digo, es muy importante.
And before we do, Diana, before we say a final goodnight, I just want to point out that with $3 more, we will be at $70,000, which is so within reach of our goal of $75,000. Please invite people to come and help us. If you know people who weren't able to join us this evening, remind them that they can come and help us because we could really use the help. We want to thank our amazing friends and supporters with the Legal Foundation of Washington and the Campaign for Equal Justice and the Endowment for Equal Justice. Thank you to our collaborators and friends. We are so grateful.
So, muchas gracias a nuestros amigos y seguidores con la Legal Foundation de Washington, la Campaña for Equal Justice y la Endowment for Equal Justice.
And so also, just to put a little bit more incentive, this Imagine Justice campaign will last all week from right now until the 19th of October. So please, I know I've said it, invite people to come and help us. We will definitely reach that goal that we have set and maybe even go far beyond. Thank you so much to everyone.
Y recuerden que nuestra campaña de Imagina la Justicia dura toda la semana. Tienen hasta el 19 de octubre para donar. Por favor, díganles a sus amigos que siga la recauda de fondos. Muchas gracias, buenas noches y hasta el año que viene.
Y Diana, mira que tiene. Más que $60,000. Muchas gracias todos. More than 70,000. We're so grateful.
Woo.
Buenas noches. Good night.
Muchas gracias por todas las donaciones. Nos va a ayudar mucho en el trabajo.